Hello and welcome to the March edition of Extra. I'm Joanne Hines.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Here at Extra, we bring you expanded coverage of recently broadcast features from Sun City News. Joanne, let's start with the special visit from a special guest.
Our new Sun City General Manager, Brad Phillips, stopped by in the studio. We got to hear what some of his priorities are for our community.
Well, Brad, welcome to Sun City Television.
Well, thank you, Norma. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning.
Well, it's been a couple of months now, probably around 3 months. So how have you been adjusting to Sun City?
Well, as you can imagine, it's been very busy. I've been able to get out to many meetings, the committees that I've been attending, the neighborhood meetings, the community events. It's just been a wonderful experience so far. So I love the job, and I'm very excited to work on behalf of everybody here at the community.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're very, very busy. Now, volunteerism is a huge part of Sun City lifestyle. So tell us about your background.
My background has a lot to do with managing community associations. I've been doing that for many years. I enjoy the job because of the diversity it brings. Managing finances, obviously making certain that resident services is professional, courteous. It's the diversity of the problems that we're solving, anything from community projects to financial situations to marketing and internet. It's a very interesting job, and I've enjoyed that for many years now.
Well, it sounds like you have expertise in quite a few areas. Now, are there any goals that you hope to meet during your first few months here?
Well, the primary goal is to get out and meet as many people as I possibly can from the standpoint of better understanding the needs of the communities. The residents are my ability to understand what the goals are for this community association. It is a responsibility for me to keep the board informed, to make sure that my staff is doing the proper things to address the residents. So it's critical for me to listen to the residents and gather the information from the community.
Okay. And I understand you've made some changes. Instead of chat with the board now, it's chat with the board and GM.
They did.
Right?
They added
that. Yeah, so be prepared for a lot of questions, Brad. And it sounds like you have a busy, busy start. So I understand that there's one work commitment in particular that you value and you want to bring more of it to Sun City.
Well, what's critical, I think, in every association that I've managed is the ability to provide answers to the questions of the residents and to make certain that we're promptly doing so in a manner that helps them to better understand, the basis of how we respond and address their concerns. So resident services is extremely critical to me.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on the show, and is there anything else that you'd like to add to that?
Well, I would say from the standpoint of what I value in this particular job is approachability. My cell phone number is 330-502-3655. I give that out at every meeting I go to because I want people to be able to contact me at any time. And from that standpoint, it becomes a personal mission of mine to make sure that I get to know everybody personally. Obviously, that's going to be impossible to do. But from the standpoint of making sure that there's always going to be somebody to answer their questions, me included, that's the most important thing for me.
And everybody, did you put down that phone number that Brad just mentioned? Because we're going to be calling you up.
Absolutely.
We hope you'll come back. I'm going to give you some time. Maybe in 6 months you'll come back and do this again.
I'd love to.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope to see Brad more on Sun City TV.
That's right. On another note, our reporter Heather Adams brought us the sound of music from the Sun City Harmonizers.
And now it's showtime. Come on, let's go time. Hoping you're feeling just fine, because it's barbershop harmony time. Sing it in rhythm and rhyme. We'll howdy do your name.
I know that you both want to tell us a little bit about the Valentine's Day promotion. It's a really cool one, I have to say. But first, I was hoping you'd give us a little background about the Sun City Harmonizers. How long have you all been making music together?
Well, the Sun City Harmonizers, which were formerly the New River Harmony Group, started in 2003. Started by fellows that came and retired to Sun City that sang barbershop wherever in the country, because barbershop's been around since the 30s. So, but we're a very active group. We have 27 members that are actively on the roster. We go to nursing homes, assisted living. We sing at dinners. We do a lot of activities where the whole chorus will actually go and sing. We also have a number of quartets, 4 guys, that sing out of our chorus, and they as well are very active and do things. And it brings us to, well, I was going to mention a couple of activities that we're involved in. On February 4th, we're at the Car Club. We're going to sing at the Car Club. That's a big event here in Sun City. The Veterans Dinner on February 17th. The Music Guild free concert they're having at Magnolia Hall with all the Music Guild members on April 2nd. We have a chorus picnic on April 29th, and then we have our show, which is scheduled for October 10th at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock at Magnolia Hall coming up. But the big event we're involved right now, and one of our best events that we do, a very personal event, is the Singing Valentines that we offer, where quartets will go out and sing. And I'd like Howard to explain. He's our chairman.
One of the remarkable things about Singing Valentines is how personal it is. My heroes for this year are a 26-year-old salesperson who's worked on 2,600 homes in the Sun City community. They do floors and showers and stuff like that. So my wife and I became very close to her. She's going to have a quartet deliver a Singing Valentine to her husband at roll call and his firehouse.
So it's wonderful that you custom make each Valentine's sing that you do.
I can't tell you, my vivid memory is going to a restaurant and singing to a couple where he proposed, got down on his knee and proposed while we sang "Let Me Call You Sweetheart." So there's some great memories. And for the Valentines, I know people, unless you've experienced, don't know what it is. It's a very personal and very touching thing that happens when a husband or a wife invites us to come and sing 2 love songs to their spouse. It's special.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
And am I understanding correctly that you are doing Valentine's both in Sun City and outside Sun City?
That's correct. We're doing the Valentines in Sun City and up to Route 46. On the other side of 46 and on to Hilton Head, the Lighthouse Chorus is taking the ones that are booked over there. So we work cooperatively with them. And there are a lot of barbershop choruses in the Low Country, men and women, who do this. And at the April 29 picnic, there will be every chorus from the Low Country. North of us and south of us will all come together in the pavilion and sing in the afternoon. It's going to be another great experience for those people who love barbershop.
Well, I have to say, having heard you firsthand, that you guys really handle this style so well, and it's not an easy style. Now, how much experience did you have coming into singing?
I started singing barbershop in a little town in Newton, Kansas in 1980, and I've been a member ever since of the Barbershop Society.
Absolutely. I mean, just for me, the idea of opening up my front door and seeing 4 of you standing out there getting ready to sing just makes me smile. So I really hope it's as successful as it's been all these other years. I know it's a wonderfully unique thing to do. So thank you, Jack. Thank you, Howard, so much for coming on and letting us know about what's going to be happening and what's coming up for the chorus as well.
That was sweet.
A not-so-sweet subject is tax time. But Joanne, we learned information that will help our residents.
Sun City's own Anna Marie Tabernac is the district coordinator for the AARP Tax Aide program. She was in our studio to give us the details of how our residents can take advantage of this no-cost service.
Well, welcome back to Sun City TV, Tab.
Thank you, Norma. Always a pleasure to come in.
Okay, well, it's a huge undertaking now. So when and where will tax help be available to our Sun City residents?
So we will start February the 6th. Most of our dates are in Pinckney Hall. We were lucky enough to get Pinckney Hall. Unfortunately, due to the clubs using the rooms and so on, we do have 3 or 4 days we're at Hidden Cypress. So what our residents need to know is I will be putting a sheet at Lifestyles that lists all the dates we're open, what time we're open each day, because it fluctuates depending on when we got the room, and it fluctuates depending on where we are. Because our residents are used to coming to Pinckney Hall for every one of them, but because of availability, we're at Hidden Cypress a few times.
Okay, so they
So
should check
February
over here.
6th until April 15th, all the way to the end.
Wow, all the way till April 15th.
Correct.
Okay. Now, who performs this service and who is able to take advantage of this service?
Okay, so they're all volunteers. Starting with me, I'm the district coordinator. So I coordinate Sun City, Bluffton Library, and Hilton Head Library. And all of my preparers are volunteers. Many of them live in Sun City, and so when our residents come, they will see them here or at the Bluffton Library. And we are here Mondays and Thursdays, most days from 7 to 2. And the Bluffton Library is Wednesday, 12 to 5. And the Hilton Head Library is Tuesday, 10 to 4. So we're all volunteers, every one of us, and there is no charge for the service, no tipping, other than if somebody wants to make cookies or something, we take that. But there is no tipping and nothing like that. Who can take advantage of it? You don't have to be an AARP member. People come in and say, well, I'm not an AARP member. We're like, we're good. It is funded by the AARP Tax Foundation, but anybody could come in. We're predominantly to serve middle to low income, and they call the elderly, which I qualify as well, 65 and up. We do take people with, if somebody comes in and has a disability, they're on oxygen or something, they move to the head of the line. We've had people that had like cancer or so on, and he can't be around a lot of people, we'll make accommodations. So literally we serve everybody. We also do our employees if they're interested. We allow them to do a quick interview. We take their return. We do it while they work. They come back to review it. So it's open to our employees too.
Okay. And I heard it's free.
It's free.
It's free. But does a resident or an employee need an appointment?
We don't do appointments anymore, which has caused stress to some people, but we were having issues with that. So it's really first come, first serve, like when you go to the deli. And what happens is when you come out to the Pinckney Hall, believe this or not, I don't get here till 7. We don't open technically till 7:30. By 7 o'clock, there's 80 people out there. We can't service 80 people. We don't have enough counselors. But people sign a sheet, and then I come out and we issue tickets like at the deli. So when we call 101, you step in and we take care of you. And that's not only to keep order, but also for anonymity. You know, instead of saying, hey, Norma, you're next for your taxes. We don't do that. We try to make it private. So we think we have it pretty much down pat. But understand, if we can only do 40 in a day, count out. If you're number 50, you're most likely not going to get it done that day.
Okay.
And we tell people that.
Okay, so then you better go someplace else for your pastrami, right? Because you're not getting it done.
Or come back another day. Yes.
Well, thank you for your time today.
You're very
Tim,
welcome.
And your efforts for our residents.
Great program. It saves our residents time and money.
Kudos to all the volunteers who make this program happen.
Well, Georgia, let's finish with your visit to one of our Sun City book clubs.
The Low Country is blessed with literary talent. Book Club Chapter 5 invited 5 local authors who I got to meet and hear some of their stories.
What an intellectually inspiring way to commemorate Black History Month. Thanks to Book Club Chapter 5, we can delve into the African American narrative through the works of 5 local authors. What a privileged experience. Horace, I've seen you described as the legendary Black Arts Movement author. Tell me what that title means to you.
First, let me tell you that I didn't write that, but it probably refers to the fact that I've been writing since the Black Arts Movement, which started in 1965 and lasted for 10 years to 1975. So that probably attests to the fact that I've been writing for a long time. And the legendary part isn't about my notoriety, but by longevity.
Your Sleepy Willie books, they were birthed from the Sleepy Willie column that you used to write. And I looked at so many of the things that you covered. What are some of the things that you really wanted Willie to teach us?
Well, mostly I wanted the reader to come away with a commitment to seeking truth, and that's what my character Willie did, and to realize that truth is a lot more malleable looking through the lens of humor. It makes it easier to digest sometimes. It's a funny book about some very serious situations, and the reader should come away with the commitment to truth.
Dr. Gaston, thank you for joining us today. Describe your aunt's trust mission.
Okay. The mission of the trust is to preserve Zora's legacy, to maintain an appropriate image of her, and to ensure that she is introduced to young readers. She still has, just lots of fans already, but we want to be sure the young ones coming along get to know Zora as well as the older ones.
Now, I've read some background on your aunt, and she was quite a character. Lots of stories I'm sure that you could share. Which of her qualities do you feel you cherish the most?
Well, she had many qualities that I cherish, and I think I prefer to say that she had character. She had lots of character. She actually, Barracoon would not have been published today had she not had the character to refuse to publish it in its dialect. To refuse their request, the publisher's request, that she not publish it in dialect. And she held to her principles that her job was to preserve the culture of the people that she was reviewing and out investigating and writing about, and she wanted that presented in all its true form. So I would say it's her honesty, her integrity, and while some people may think, wow, she did that, or she did this, or she, but she was Zora.
Which of Zora's books did you bring today?
Okay, I brought the most recent publication, Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick, and a lot of people say, what is it about? And it is about getting where you want to be, even though it might be a roundabout way. So yes, it's a collection of short stories, very interesting, very funny, but all get at the truth.
Do you have a favorite?
Maybe Spunk is one that I'm going to talk about today. That is one that's been around for a while, and people like that story. But I think She-Rock, Country and the Woman are some of the ones that were not discovered early. They were published early, but not discovered really for public consumption until later. So those are very good stories too. All of the stories in there are very good. And then I also brought the next one that was published last year called Barracoon. That is the heartrending story of the last slave ship, or the cargo of the last slave ship, and a man called Cujo Lewis. And it describes, or it tells, the story of his travels from Africa to our country here and what happened to him. It's very sad. It will stick with you. It's true. She acknowledges all of the truth throughout what happened. And it was on the Times bestseller list for 10 weeks straight. So, and it is still very popular. So I'm proud of that one.
I think I would describe my writings by, I think I want them to be happy. Because I was in the school system, I had the experience of realizing that there was a lack of reading literacy for early kids. So I wanted my books to be inspiring as well as inviting, and I also wanted to send a message. So, and if you look in the back of each one of my books, you will see that there are lessons learned and how to pronounce words and the definitions. So I would think my books are inspiring, motivating, as well as a learning tool.
Always good to have that teacher. I'm a fellow teacher, former teacher, so I knew. Now, let me ask, can you give us a little spoiler alert on any books that you might be bringing to us soon?
You know what? I am writing a chapter book now. I haven't done anything for middle grade students, so now I will be soon, hopefully by the end of this year. I'm doing a chapter book with small chapters of different things that's going on in a neighborhood of, say, the 60s, of a little girl, African-American girl, poor African-American girl, I might add, who's going through the changes of childhood and just the challenges of being black.
Carolyn, this is such a fantastic event. What do you hope is the takeaway for all of us who are attending?
Well, this is the opportunity for our book club members to connect to our local writers, and also for our local writers to share with us their inspiration for their books. So this is exciting, and we're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, and increasing our awareness too.
Yes,
what a
indeed.
Great way to celebrate
Yes, it is.
Black
It's
History
wonderful.
Month.
It's just wonderful.
Well, that's extra for March. I'm Joanne Hines. Please check out the program guide and Sensations for our other SCTV monthly shows.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Thank you for watching. Please join us again next month as we bring you extra coverage of stories and features from Sun City News.